Welcome. I am doing a presentation walkthrough on the Pontiac. It's a level 7 image, so it has a little bit more difficult than the CyberCamp Advanced. So it's going to give you a little bit more challenge on this one. So I'm going to walk you through the solution that I have. There was one problem with the scoring engine. I'll point that out, but for the most part, you should get pretty much all of them, but except the one, unless the scoring engine works this time. Anyway, if it doesn't work, I'll point out the one that doesn't work. Anyway, all right. So if it's prompting for unique team ID, just put anything in there. A lot of times I'll just put 14-1234, right? So nothing. And validate. This is if we're setting up a network with scoring and stuff like that. But let it finish. All right, so you can see it's doing something right here. It can't play. Should give you a clue for another vulnerability. So a lot of times when things pop up like this, don't just dismiss them. They could be something you might need to look for. So you'll see this is definitely something we need to look for. So I'm gonna go ahead and so there's some kind of music being played. Go total on the mountain here. You see on the bottom, right? So we'll eventually come back to it. So we know to go total on the mountain is something we need to look for. All right. So first thing we like to do is go ahead and maximize that. So this is called Pontiac image. So we're going to go, and there's 9 forensic questions. So there's quite a few number of forensic questions. We can up the game here a little bit for you, give you a little bit more challenges. The scoring report, image. Let me read me. We'll do that first. Okay, so a couple of things here. So I'm going to use Firefox browser. I'll do that right now. Well, it's asking me, so let's go ahead and change that Firefox. Anyway, done there, and let me go ahead and download and update that out of the way. All right, so we'll go through the README. Forensic questions, they are scored. So this is our build. We are using 20H2 build so-and-so. Company policy only use the latest stable version of Windows H2 build package. I want to make sure this bench on the side of the default web browser is Firefox. So Frank Hershey was recruited to the Pontiac team. So if you know anything about the history of Pontiac, Frank Hershey was an important player in that team. So along with Delora and some of the other names in here. Anyway, I challenge you to go look that up on Wikipedia or wherever on the internet. Remember, Google's your friend. So we need to create a new standard user account with Hershey, and then it says use this account to test standard access, then promote the account to administrator. So not just make them as standard use, but promote them, right? So depending on whether you've read it or not. Also check that former members are no longer with us or removed. This policy would have been affected by a former employee doing damage to the system. So what is that? Something's going to happen. Make sure the system's clean of extraneous files, programs, and services. The system and necessary utilities should be current. Ensure all general privacy settings are on. Use the PowerShell command, get local user, to facilitate the hardening of your system. All right, so there's critical services. You got Notepad++, the Acrobat Reader 11, Firefox, and PowerShell. So if you see PowerShell, don't get rid of it. It is needed. In fact, you may get points taken off, take it out. All right, so we have a couple administrators. We have DeLorean, administrator, B. Lutz, and J. Wagner. So this is going to be a little confusing. This was a little mistake on the README. So administrator is always administrator. So, but we're going to be disabling them anyway. So just so this is a little confusing. It's pointed out. Here's our users, and this is just normal stuff that you normally see on the guidelines. All right, so we got the README out of the way. You might want to make sure we copy. Oh, we don't know the password, do we? Oh, okay, interesting. So if you had a password for John DeLorean, you want to copy that. But I do not see it here, so that could be interesting. All right, so what's next? So we want to go through the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and do a right-click, edit with Notepad++. And it wants an update package. So I'm going to say, go ahead and say, yeah, I'm going to get that out of the way. So. And let's just go ahead and get that done. All right. Yeah, we got something going on here with Restoro. So get out of that. Don't worry about the change log. Question number 1, the host file. All right, so you can see it kind of ran wrap here. So I'm going to click on that, the word wrap. What's the full path? The host file is shown in the command prompt. So the way to do that is let's go get a command prompt. When I do a command prompt, I'm going to run as administrator. Okay, so where is the host file? That's in this Windows/system32/drivers/etc directory. And you'll see there's a host file. Well, that's interesting. There's also an MP3 file here. So don't just look at the host file. There could be other things, other files here you may need to get rid of. So there's a host file. Let's take a look at it. Just so this host file is corrupted. You can kind of see, so because I have 127.0.0.1 Google. So a lot of times you'll find that your forensic questions will lead to other things, and we've just found 2 additional things that we just saw, right? If not 2, probably more. We just updated our Notepad++. We made our Firefox our default browser. We updated our Firefox. I mean, we got a couple of things we just did. So in order to fix this, you have to be in an administrative command prompt first off, and I can just say Notepad hosts, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this line. Get that line, save it, and exit. Let's get out of there. So we're going to say, here's our full command line. And I'm going to put it here, and we'll add hosts at the end. Let's see if that works. Okay, so we'll go to question number 2. And again, we'll edit Notepad++. Sharing a folder or directory in Windows is a great way to allow other users or other computers to access specific files on your computer. By default, Windows operating system creates a number of hidden shared folders that are accessible only to users with administrative privileges. In addition, users can create non-default shared folders using Windows Explorer in order to share information across the network. What is the share name for the remote admin? So So what is that? Okay, so what is a share for the remote admin? All right, so now we just have to, now Google's our friend here. So, right, so it's asking what's the share for the remote admin. So what I would suggest doing for that is go ahead and use Google, right? So let's go ahead and Google that. So we're going to say, let's see, what would we say for that? Probably share for the remote admin, right? We'll just take this last part here, share name for the remote admin, just copy and paste it right into the search. And so we got some stuff right away. Let's go ahead and take a look at this first one. And if we scroll down, you'll see that admin $ is a remote admin. So that's, my guess it's going to be admin $. And it says it's got to be in uppercase. So we got to put all in uppercase. So admin $. Go ahead and save it. Okay. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's go to question number 3. Oops. And all right, so 1, 2, and we got Notepad updated, so we're good. All right, so Microsoft Windows workgroups organize PC as peer-to-peer local networks. That facilitates easier sharing of files, internet access, printers, and other local network resources. Each computer that's a member of the group can access the same resources being shared by the others, and in turn can share its own resources if configured to do so. Work group names are managed separately from computer names. To access shared resources on other PCs within its group, use the name of the work group that computer belongs to, plus the username and password of an account on the remote computer. So it's asking, what is the computer work group name? All right, so how do we figure that out? So I would just do a search down here. Let's say work group. So we're going to do a work group. Go ahead and click on that, and it's just work group. So pretty, and they want an uppercase, so copy that in there and save it. All right, let's keep going. Question number 4. Notepad. Jumbo Packet is an extension of network devices that allows for transmission of packets bigger than 1.5 kilobytes. So 1,500 bytes, I think that's right. Enabling jumbo packets can significantly increase video streaming performance. Note that not all network devices support jumbo packets. What is the value of the jumbo packet property of the wired network adapter? So we got to answer what that is. So what is that, and how do you find it, right? So it's looking for something like 9 or 4 bytes or something. Oh, what was that? Something just happened there. That's interesting. So something just happened there. We got to watch. That doesn't look great. All right, so we want to get to this wired network adapter. So probably the best way to get there is let's go to a control panel. And let's look at, let's do some more icons for now. I want, so let's try this one here. Let's see if this is going to do it. Network. adapter settings. There we go. Now I want to go, this is my wired one. So let's go ahead and do a right click on that. We'll go to properties. And we want this connection. So I'm going to go to this configure tab button. And let's take a look at these items here. So I'm going to advance and then look for jumbo packet. So here's jumbo packet. And the value is disabled right now. So that is the answer. So if you notice, there's other values. There's your 9014 and 4088, but it's disabled right now. So we need to say disabled, just as it's stated there. So disabled, right? I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. I don't want to change that. All right, go to this, don't that. And we want 5. All right, so there's a lot of words here about bits, and it's basically coming down. If you enable this policy setting, bits will limit the maximum number of bits jobs a user can create to the specified number. If you disable or do not configure this policy setting, bits will use the default user bits job limit to how many jobs. So with that, best way to find that out is you have to go to GPEdit to figure this out. GPEdit.msc, that's your group policy editor. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. And under, I forget which one, I think it's under this one. And we're looking for some bit stuff here. There should be so let's see where we're at here. Okay, so under local group policy editor, we're looking for the one that says limit the number of bit jobs. So we'll go into the bit jobs here. Limit the max number of bit jobs. So here's the one I think max number of files. So it's bit jobs. So let's go ahead. So right now it's enabled, so it's limiting it. That's I clicked on the wrong one. Oh, download. I got the wrong one again. Let's see. So we're looking for how many jobs. Okay. That's download time. Check this real quick here. So we want, let's see. All right, let's try this again. So we're going to do, so this is the bit jobs download time. I don't think this is it, but so this is asking how many active job timeout in seconds. That's 90 seconds. That looks really small. Looks like we're going to have to change that. It looks like the default maximum download time of 90 days or 7.776 million seconds. That's definitely been tampered with. Maximum number of files allowed. This is number of files. I'm going to throw this in here for now. This is how many jobs, but I'm going to put 2 in here, and then I don't think this is right, but we'll see. Let's see what the next one is. Let's see. We didn't do the network bandwidth. So it's like we're limited transfer rate to 1 kilobit. That's extremely limited. Oh, let's use it to how many. Okay, so we set it to 2, but it's asking for the default value of 200. So let's change it to 200. I think that's right. Let's see. All right. No, it's wait. I think I got the wrong. That's number 5. All right, so it's not that. That bandwidth. See it in there. See it in there. Looking in the description field here. See it there. Okay. Let's take a look. So we're gonna do another thing. If you enable this. Let's do a search for it. How's that? Let's do that instead. Oh, there we go. This policy limits this script. By default, bits limits the total number of jobs created on the computer to 300 jobs. So we're going to change that to 300. Okay. So it's just. Okay. But obviously, we got some problems here, right? So we can see that. All right, let's see what our scoring report looks like. Looks like we got 1 through 5 scored. Got notepads been updated. 6 out of 61, 11 out of 100 points. All right, so let's continue on. So that's 5. Let's go ahead and minimize this one out of the way, but we're going to have to go back into it. All right. So 6. Edit with Notepad. What is the new Microsoft command that replaces Xcopy? This was introduced Windows Vista, but part of the Windows Resource Kit. It is a command which is used for making copies of folders or files. It's similar to the familiar command of like copy and Xcopy. So let's just do another search for this one. Let's see what comes up with this spec. Let's see. Well, that's interesting. Robocopy stands for robust file copy. Some of the familiar commands like copy and Xcopy. Well, that might be our solution. Let's just see what happens. And probably should do it in uppercase. I'm gonna do it in uppercase just so we have it. All right. That's 6. Bring up 7. We're gonna edit with Notepad. What is RUXIM? There's a folder named RUXIM in the program file with RUXIMIH.exe and a bunch of folders. Oh, hey, let's research what is and whether you should keep it or remove it. Should you keep or remove? That's the question. So let's just say, what is Rexim? That might be interesting. So Rexim Interaction Campaign Scheduler. It's used by Windows Update. Well, if it's used by Windows Update, I'd probably say you should not get rid of it. So I would say let's go ahead and if they mentioned it in here. This guy was looking around the C folder. used by Windows Update. All right, so we don't want we definitely want Windows up to date and performing properly. So we should probably keep it. So all updates. Keep. That was number 7. So number 8. What is the what is the SHA-256 checksum of Restoro in this downloads folder? All right, so we got. So how do we do that? So we need to do SHA-256. SHA-256. So Windows 10. Let's see what we can do for that. There we go. Let's see if this thing comes up. There we go. So we do a get file. There it is. So we want to go to which folder? We want to go to this folder here. Go ahead and all right. And okay, looks like there's a couple things here. So let's do the Restoro file. So let's go ahead and move this over. So I want to cert. These first. And the name of the file, which is going to be Restoro.exe. And then we want to do SHA-256, I think. Right. And so we want to copy that. And let's go ahead and put it here. Now let's save it. That's 8. Let's go up to 9 now. All right, so there's a couple of things. So ports open. So this is a very good one to go through. On TCP/IP network, every device must have an IP address. However, IP address alone is not sufficient for running network applications because there can be multiple applications and services. Address identifies the computer. The network port identifies the application or service running on the computer. So what TCP port does FTP use? All TCP ports. Let's see if there's something about TCP ports. I'm going to say TCP ports list. That might be good. See what that comes up with. Let's go look at Wikipedia. I'm going to bring this over here to the other side. Help us out. So we want to look for FTP. So here's FTP here. This is data though, 20. This is the command, control command. So that's probably the one they want. So this should be 21. FTP is 21, and then the data is on 20. So default port. All right, so www, well, HTTP, so that's going to be 80, port 80. So if we scroll down here, you see port 80. What TCP port does www but HTTPS? Well, that's going to be 443. So we're going to scroll down here. You'll see 443. And HTTPS. All right, so we'll put that in there. These are all the ones that you really should almost memorize. Which TCP port does SSH use? That's going to be port 22. So we're going to scroll up. Port 22, and you see that secure shell. What TCP port does Telnet use? Well, that's going to be just below 22. It's 23 Telnet, but it's unencrypted, so they don't use Telnet much anymore. They use secure shell because it's encrypted. So that's 23. So it'd be rare for you to see something like that nowadays, even though it was very common in the day. What TCP port does DNS use? Well, DNS is actually down at 53. So that's domain name system, domain name service. So that's what, if you typed in www.ibm.com or cyberpatriot.org, you're going to get what IP address it's going to be going to. So that is 53. Let's go ahead and save this. See if we get our answers. All right, so we should have that done. So now we should work on, the next thing I'd like to work on is looking at doing your updates. So let's go work on updates. We got 1 through 9 done, so that's good. All right, we close this out. All right. So to do updates, settings, updating security. Now, one thing you might want to notice real quick here is some settings are managed by your organization. View configured update policies. I will click on that real quick, and you can see there's a bunch of group policies. There's a bunch of them here. So we were just in the group policy editor. Let's bring that back up. And that should be under the top one, I believe. So let's work on this one for the, I believe it's under this. Let's see, configure automatic updates. So I'll go ahead and double click on it, bring this up. And I would say enable this and then make sure it's set for the default. So let's scroll down so you see what the default setting is. So number 3 is the default setting. So make sure that's set for default. Click on apply and OK. Okay, we're gonna fix some of these. Allow automatic updates, immediate installation. So I would suggest reading these. So this says if the configure automatic updates is disabled, which is not now, it's no effect, but it's set to enabled. So the question is, what do you want to do here? So I'd probably, what happens if we disable this, or not disable, but if you not configure it to do anything? Well, you probably either enabled or not configured. I'd probably say probably not configured. So we did this one already. Take your auto restart reminder for updates. So I would say again, a lot of these probably disable or do not. Well, you probably want to do not configured. Probably better. Allow updates to be downloaded automatically over metered connections. So I would, again, since most of us do not have metered connections, I would probably not configure this one. Most of us have pretty high-speed internet access. Okay, so this is interesting. They got do not process the run once list. So let's take a look at that. We have it disabled. I would curious with the run once list thing. That's probably down here too. So I'm gonna have to look at that. So we'll put these back to not configured for now. So they got a legacy run list. So this ignores the customized run list. I'm going to say not configured again. And let's take a look at this. Run these programs at logon. So they actually have a couple programs, or it looks like there's programs being ran at logon. So as soon as you boot up. And that's the I'ma get you one. So we need to go and delete this one. Don't forget to delete this file. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that up while we try to get rid of this one. So that's under F, Facebook, temp, I'ma get you. And you want to delete this, so I'm just going to hit the delete key. And we got some issue here. Okay, well, we got a problem. So let's go back, cancel that. So for open the properties, go to security, go to advanced. Okay. Okay, so it looks like we needed a change. So let's go ahead and get out, bring it back in. I think get it again, right? No, it didn't allow us. So we need to change John DeLorean. Okay, we can say apply. We have to get out and back in. So let's go back out, back in. So these are what they call ACLs. These are rules that can be applied. So the denies are always kind of first. So we're going to delete these one at a time. Just click on them and hit the delete key. Change permission. Deny, it's remove, deny, remove, deny, remove. All right, now we're good. Now we're going to say apply. Okay. Okay. Now we hit delete. It's gone. All right. So don't forget to delete that one. So we're going to go ahead and not configure this one. Turn on recommended updates. That's usually we want, let's see. So if this probably want that enabled, right? Recommended. So we got a couple other things in here. So remove access to all Windows update features. Probably we need to not configure it. Do not connect to any Windows update internet locations. That's probably a bad thing. So we want to disable this. Well, we don't want enabling this would disable this functionality. We want to reverse that. We want to disable the policy to allow us that functionality, right? So, or basically not configure. So let's go ahead and not configure. Display options for update notifications. So again, read what it says here. So we can still enable this if you want. Just change this to a 0 default update notifications. All right. Or you could probably not configure it. Probably, I think defaults to that anyway. So I'm all right. A lot of these bit stuff, I think I'm going to take care of now while we're in here. So, and these bits, we probably just want the default settings. So I'm just going to not configure them. To not allow the computer as a server, and I'm just going to not apply. Limit the network bandwidth for background, so obviously we don't want to limit it. So let's go ahead and say just don't configure it. Bits, limit the number of bits jobs. Since you don't configure it, don't limit it. So and there you go. Max number of files allowed on a bits job. Okay, we're going to say don't configure it, apply. All right. Now this is interesting. Windows Defender Firewall allow inbound remote desktop exceptions. Well, that's interesting. So if you disable a setting, firewall blocks this port. So this could be kind of interesting. Not sure about this one. So allow inbound remote desktop. I don't remember if remote desktop was a thing or not. Let's go check real quick. Does not say anything about remote desktop, so we probably want to not allow that. So I'm going to say don't configure it. So I'm going to go back to default. All my updates, we're good there. Do not display install updates, set down option. So we can say don't configure that, which means it's going to show up. So we're going to apply that. Do not adjust default options to install updates. So we're going to go ahead and not configure that one. Turn off auto restart notifications. So we're going to go back to do not configure. All right. Let's try that and see where we're at. If we rerun this, check for updates. Okay, so it's still having some problems. Try run troubleshoot this problem because it's like Windows Update. So we may have to do that. So here's troubleshoot. Let's try this again. Data security, troubleshoot. Data security. Did not do that, did it? And select Windows Update. Now let's come back to this one. So we're going to say do that. Yeah. We'll come back to that. All right, so let's start with the users at this point. So one way of doing this, I like doing this in the Windows System 32 folder. And net users is your list. I like to put this into a users.bat file. There's also another command, which actually comes in kind of nice, wmic. And then user account. I think it's user account. Might be plural, I'll find out in a second. And then get name. Okay, that works. So I'm going to copy this, highlight it, hit Control C. And I'm going to do notepad on that users.bat file. We just did it. So, and I'm just going to put in what we just did there. All right. So one of the things we'd like to do on this is we'll put net user in front of every whoops, I want to do that. Net user in front of every username. We'll get that done real quick. All right. One of the things we want to also make sure on is, so we said we just had to recruit Pontiac team, so we have to create an F Hershey guy, right? So we need a F Hershey. All right, we got to add him. So usually using password 1234, and we add. So I'm going to keep this kind of simple with that. So as I go through this, DeLorean's me. I don't do John DeLorean. He is rimmed out. I get rid of the commands and just say this is me. Don't touch. But just so I know, I actually did him. You know, he's not gone. So if he was gone, then I would think that I didn't process through with him. So administrator, this is gonna be a little confusing. Administrator, we're gonna should be disabled. It shouldn't be there. It's a mistake I mentioned earlier. So we'll get to that one. So let's see, B Lutz. So B Lutz next. This is where we go password 1234, and then we say /active yes. So we want to, just in case for some reason if someone deactivated the account, we want to activate them again with a password. So let's go ahead and copy this. That's B Lutz. J Wangers next. So I'm just doing a real simple thing here, nothing too elaborate. B Collins. Now I don't know if it actually said for us to not change our password. You could always do that, I guess. But usually it tells you not to change your password. So B Collins, we did him. Who's next? F Holzman. RG. And S Weiser. Okay. So that anybody that's left is those that are going to be deactivated, right? So we're going to basically have the active no with that. So change that to a no. And it's going to go on everybody that we did not change already. Okay. And we already put Hershey there. And I'm going to do one more thing with this. So I'm going to save this and then get out. Because we're going to come back into this file in a moment. So one of the things we want to do is look at other accounts, like our administrators. So we can do that with that local group administrator. So if we just did local group, you can see a list of all your different groups. We want administrators on this one. And so I go up arrow, administrators. So I'm going to append this to the end of that user's file. So to append, you do a double greater than sign and then the name of the file you want to append to. Okay. So there's also some other ones that we want to look at. So there's backup operators, there's power users, remote desktop users. So I would look at these real quick. We don't need that. So let's see, power users have to be with, since it's 2 words, you want to put them in quotes. And if you notice, there's actually Hitler's in there, so he's definitely a power user, isn't he? Not. So we want to append that to our users.bat as well, because we obviously need to take Hitler out of that group. So that's kind of a back door for admin stuff. So be careful with that one. You'll find that people were added inadvertently to that. So, all right. So we can look at some other ones. I think we want to look at, say, remote desktop users. Let's see what that does. There's nobody in there. That's good. Power users is usually important to look at. Administrators, obviously. So stop there. So we're going to go ahead and notepad the users.bat file. And what I usually like to do on this, so I'm at the administrator, so I'm going to just ram this, remark it, put rem, so it remarks it. So looks like we have that's rammed as well. Whoops, I just ran. So I can get rid of these. So what I'm gonna do here is, of course, administrator. Anybody that should be there should be just remmed out. So administrator should always be there. Let's see what I'm gonna go to the top down. So J DeLorean. And of course, anybody that's still left, we know it's got to be taken, right? So administrator already remmed out. Be Lutz next, and J Wangers. So there's two of them that need us. So I'm going to readjust these so I have all the ones top. We'll see what I'm doing in a second. So I'm just going to move these together. All right, so a little copy and paste, or cut and paste. So we're going to go ahead and, so since we have two of them here, we say net local group, like we did before, to list them out, and then administrators. And we have B columns. And if we have a list of them, we can actually list them in a line, and then say /delete, right? So we can get all of them done at the same time. So not many commands can do this, list them out one by one, the space after each other, but this one can. All right, so we have the power users. We're going to be doing that one next. So I'm going to set this one up. I'm just going to remark, basically set these as comments. So again, this is just like the other one. So I'm going to net local group. And then remember, power users got to, since it's 2 words, I got to put it in quotes, Hitler, and then /delete. Get rid of that last one. All righty. So let's go ahead and, so there's a lot of times we like to have a bunch of other items we like to add to this. All right, so if you remember, we have to also add, I almost forgot, we have to add Mr. Hershey. Remember, Hershey was supposed to be added as a we added him as a standard account at the beginning, but we need to also add him as an administrator. So we got promoted. So don't forget to do that. So we got to do another line here. I'm just going to copy this. And instead of saying delete, we're going to say /add. And instead of saying Hitler and B columns, we're going to say F Hershey. So we're going to go ahead and add him. But don't forget to add him. All right, so the other thing that I like to do is my shares too. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of it, and I'll come back into it. So I forgot to do my net share, sorry. So we got a few shares out there. So I'm going to go ahead and append that to our users.bat so we can edit it within here. Because one of the nice thing to do as well is once you have this thing made is just save it and put it into your log. So you always definitely want to keep a log of this stuff, what you've been doing. So again, I'm going to remark this. Mark anything that's a default share. We learned about default shares in the default hidden shares in one of your forensic questions. So these are all default hidden shares. IPC, all your C, E, F, one. Admin, remember that was the one we had to put in, remote admin. Now temp is not, that's got to be deleted. Or at least this last one for a second. All right, so this is one we have to get rid of. So to get rid of a share, we want to say net share, and then the share name. So we say net share, the share name we've got there, and we're going to say /delete. Right. So if you have a share that need to be deleted, that's your syntax. Sometimes you have to add a share. That's a little more rare. A lot of times you have to delete shares. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's see what else we're going to do. We're going to also probably do, I like to add some other, do my password policies. So here's a password policy I like doing. So I'm going to copy that in here. So this one works pretty well. So that's minimum password length of 10, maximum password age of 90. That's when they have to change it, right? Minimum password age 10. That means they can't change it within 10 days, and they have a history of 8. So, and of course those things are adjustable. All right, lockout policy. So we're gonna do our lockout policy, and that's this next one I'm going to put in. So where we have a threshold of 5 with the lockout duration 30 and a window of 30. And we'd like to do our audit policies. And we can do it on one command line. It's actually kind of a nice little command line. So setting all of them to enable yes, success enabled, and failures enabled. And then we want to turn our firewall on. So I'm going to add that in here. So I'm kind of going from my flash drive. So hopefully you have a flash drive with all this stuff in there, and with your checklist. So I like to add this stuff in here. So firewall, we're going to enable, set everything on. We're going to turn on some automatic updates. So let's see how that goes. We've kind of already set that in the editor. So we're going to make sure, and then we're going to turn on our update service. So we may have a service so make sure those are set. Sometimes they'll turn those off on you. So that's what this is about. And then remote desktop. So we do not have remote desktop. I did check. There's nothing about remote desktop here. So they don't want remote desktop turned on. So we're going to go ahead and turn down that service. Disable it. There's actually a couple of them there. There's probably about 3 or 4. So usually what you have to do is you stop the service and then you disable it. So I like to add that at this point. And I think that's it. So let's see. Yeah, and also they may have turned on a network authentication level. So we're going to set. Oh, sorry, that's it. To enable it. Let's see what else. We like to turn off autoplay. So, and a lot of these I have already in a separate script in a sense that we worked on for many years. So that, and then I like to disable a bunch of services. So I'm going to do a quick copy and paste of all these different services, whether it's Bluetooth or bits our BitLocker, telemetry, DHCP client. There's quite a bit here, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick copy and paste. And we're going to turn on, some things we're going to turn off, some things we're going to turn off, like our Defender antivirus we want to turn on, our principal we want to turn on, right? A remote registry we want to disable, RIP listener we want to turn off. You know, there's a couple things we want. Just depends on what it is, right? For security reasons, turn things on and off. And let's see, I think a couple more things. Windows Update again. Get that one. I think I got that earlier up. So I'm copy it again. Home group provider. We're going to turn that off. And I think that's it. There's quite a bit. So then there's a bunch of security options that we can turn on through regedit commands, regadd commands. So we're going to add those real quick, like the block Microsoft accounts. We're going to, under accounts, we're going to limit the local use of blank passwords. We're going to prevent users from installing print drivers. We're going to restrict CD-ROM access, restrict floppy access, domain members. We're going to digitally encrypt and sign secured channel data always. Make sure that's enabled. Then we're going to go in and don't display last signed in. Don't require under the interactive logon. We're going to not require the. We're going to disable that do not require control delete. So basically, we require it. Kind of a confusing one. So we're going to. There's a couple other more clear virtual page files. So all that we're going to save into our batch file. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually run this. So users that. Now, when you do run this, when you do have a script, make sure it runs properly. Don't just run it and blindly, because if it doesn't, if there's errors, you got to understand what those errors are. So there's a couple things that failed. Make sure we saw those. You can scroll through. So successful, looks good. These are all ramps. I'm going to scroll up through it to see if there's anything that these are all ramps that didn't get ran. So access denied on this one, that might be because we turned that on already. Yes, it's already running, so that's okay. Group listener not exist as installed, that's fine. Not installed. Okay, you got to understand what errors are. Something did fail, and you select this one failed. Why did it fail, right? Service did not get started. It's not been started. Well, okay. Well, we tried to stop something that wasn't started, so that's good. It's shut down. But you may run into something where, so again, not installed service. That's good. But then trying to shut it down. We want to shut it down anyway. It's failed because it's not installed service. That's good. We don't want it installed. Keep going through it. And if this is too long, then I would break it up into multiple batch files so that you're not, or you save the output into another file, and then you can look at that file and then see what truly ran, truly did not run. So like this one here, see what we have here. Success, change service. So that was successful. that failed, but why did it fail? It's not been started. Okay, so you can't stop something not been started, so that's actually a good thing. So this one, success, right? So that means that it's started. That's what that's doing. Wanted. Okay. These things are all good. So that turned it on. That changed updates. Good. All right, very good. Let's just see what. Oh, something just happened. Something just ran. So we're at 39 out of 61 at this point. Hitler's been deleted. Saint's been deleted. Tulip's been deleted or disabled. So something just ran there. I'm not sure what that was, but something just ran. So we'll find out. Okay, lost anything that changes here. So just watch this as I update this. So Hitler just got out of there. So something's putting Hitler back in is what's happening. But thankfully not back in the power users group. So usually something like that gets run as under a scheduled task. So best way to do that is go to the task scheduler. And under task scheduler, so open that up. Let's go ahead and open up a little bit bigger. And of course, you got a whole library, so click under here, and then open up these tabs a little bit. So we got two things that are interesting to me. You got Cyber Patriot, and you got My Tasks. So usually these other ones are going to be what they put in. So you could go through them all. I wouldn't necessarily delete everything, but because there are things that you need to stay in there. So, but let's just take a look under the Cyber Patriot badge, Cyber Patriot tab here. So I got, so this one repeats every 30 minutes. Amazing, right? So, and you can actually figure out what it does. So what is this? So it's going to run this foo bar. So that's going to be interesting. So we really want to get rid of this file. So don't just stop this task without figuring out what it does, because if it's pointing to something, you want to get rid of that as well. So foo bar we want to get rid of. So I'm going to get ready with that here. So let's see, we got foo bar under program files 86, and then we got foo bar 2000. All right, so it's running this. So we might want to check also App Wizard, appwiz.cpl, and see if it's, oh, okay, your administrator disabled program and features. Okay, I need to go back to it. Not put that back up. Must be under this other one. Okay, so here we go. Programs and features page. So I need to not hide it. So let's not configure it. Hide Windows features. We want to not configure that. Run these programs. Do not process run once less. Again, I'm not going to configure that. And I'm going to run these again. So what are this list? So there's two of them. There's Go Tell on the Mountain. There's the Go Tell on the Mountain that we talked about. eTemp. So you may want to have another. So under eTemp, there's Go Tell It on the Mountain right there. So I'm going to go ahead and try and delete this. Okay, we've run into that before, if you remember. So I'm going to right click on it, properties, under security, go to advanced. I changed my owners. So I need to go to me, DeLorean, J. DeLorean. That's great. Apply. So I'm going to have to reopen this. There we go. So there's my deny, change permissions, take out the denies, right? So deny, remove, click on deny, remove. Now allows good, so apply, okay. Okay. Now go ahead and delete that file. Okay. So these two files are gone, if you remember. So if we go back to Facebook, make sure, so that's gone as well. It's just temp files. Okay. That's good. We're going to go ahead and not configure this. Apply. Good. All right. So you can kind of see sometimes you have to fix some things before you can move on. But make sure you read what each state does. You might have to enable it versus not configure it versus or disable it. So go ahead and minimize that one in case. I need to get back into this. Okay, there we go. Just clicked on it again. So here's, I think we wanted to get rid of food bar. So let's go ahead and uninstall it. And I'm going to remove the folder completely. I want to get rid of everything, right? Don't forget to remove the folder. I'm going to say uninstall. All right, very good. Okay, we get rid of this restore. This restore is next on my hit list. Uninstall. All right. Remember, we still have to go back to that user one, so we're not done with all these. So still getting rid of it. Okay, so here's Wireshark and PCAP. Usually Wireshark will take care of NPCAP. So let's Wireshark. And let's do that once. Click on all of them. Finish. Good. WoW Tangent Games app is usually another good one to uninstall. There we go. So we haven't got rid of NPCAP for some reason. Oh, okay. And let's see, what else do we have to do? I think Google Chrome had to be uninstalled too, right? And that Google Chrome, right? It's not a okay. So Google Chrome's got to be uninstalled. Now you're gonna, well, it's like FileZilla is gonna be uninstalled as well. It's like, now the Google Chrome is gonna pop up with this window about right here, and you have to minimize it. Like, see this little window? You still can't read it, so I usually have to minimize these windows so I can read it. There we go. It says uninstall here. Also delete your data. Someone say yes. Delete that data as well. It's going to pop up with another why did you uninstall me? Kind of yeah, see, here's why did you uninstall me? Go ahead and close that out. That's fine. You don't have to answer any of that stuff. It will complete it out for you. All right. And while we're at it, let's get FileZilla client uninstalled. We'll get some of these things uninstalled out of the way. So gone. Don't reboot. You'll reboot later. Mozilla server, uninstall. Again, you will reboot later. Delete settings, yes. Good. Okay, so that's good. Remember, if anything, also these critical services you want to do updates to. You gotta make sure anything is listed here. You can do updates like Notepad++, right? We actually did that, and we got points for it. You can see somewhere here we got Notepad's been updated. So we got 39 out of 41. Okay, not bad. All right, let's go ahead and minimize this. We got to get back into the task scheduler. So we were still, that's where we're there. So we got rid of the foo bar, right? Foo fighters. There's the Amazing Grace one, which we delete. I mean, that's different. Did we delete that one? I don't remember if we deleted that one. That's under the Windows driver. So let's go Windows System 32, and then drivers, and then Etsy, right? Okay, we must have missed that one. Let's go ahead and delete that one. Oh, same thing again. Hold on. Oh, we got rid of it. Okay. So we're going to have a hard time with that one again. All right, so remember we already fixed the host file. All right, so now we can delete this one, Foo Fighters. We can delete it. And Foo Far, we've already deleted that one, right? So that one's gone. So if we go up to sometimes if it leaves things behind like this, sometimes you have to delete the directory to get the points too. So I'm going to delete this directory, Wildcat Games, and I'm going to. Do I have anything? Looks like that foo thing's gone. Okay, so we're good. All right, so I can delete the amazing one. That's amazing. And what else do we have? So that gets ran again. He likes that one. So I want to go ahead. We already deleted that, confirmed it. All right, those are gone. Let's go to. So we're done with the Cyber Patriot one. Let's go to My Task. Oh, there's a backdoor. Reset groups. Okay, that's what popped up then on it. All right, let's see what program gets ran and where it's at. So it gets ran every 15 minutes, and it runs System 32 backdoor. So let's bring up. So we're looking for that file called backdoor.bat, right? There it is, backdoor.bat. So I'm going to rename this just backdoor, just to mess with it, backdoor1.bat. All right. And I'm going to do a notepad on the backdoor1.bat. And so I need to do a reverse on this, right? We lost those points. So let me do this. Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and, so we need to deactivate him, right? So this, we can rem him out and active no, right? And then net user saying, we can rem him out because we're just really deactivating him. So, and we need to change that to add to delete. So, right? So we're good. So I'm going to save this. Let's call this backdoor reverse. Oh, there we go. Backdoor reverse. Not bad. So, and so then I just type in backdoor reverse.bat, and let's see if we get those points back that they cheated us out of. And let's go ahead and, now that we basically got rid of that, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Delete this. All right. Probably. Okay, so we're 46 out of 61. Feeling pretty good. Let's see. All right, so we got that backdoor reset has been removed. That's good. So yeah, you'll find like on your advanced images by state round and up, you'll have probably something if your task is or kind of mess with you. So, but don't just delete it. Do like what we had just did here. We went back and kind of reversed it. That might help you because it has a code in there, so sometimes you screw it. And you don't really want to keep the code with the same name. And you notice I just changed the name slightly, so it can't run it again. So all right. Let me just see if what we're at here. It's over here, and we'll take a look and see where we're at. So give me a minute. All right, so we got the forensic questions all correct. We got the disabled the guest account. Unauthorized user Hitler has been disabled or deleted. Saint's been deleted or disabled. Should have Tulip's been deleted or disabled. B. Lutz password has been changed. Very good. We got B. Collins. Password has been changed. We got Count F. Hershey's been added. Okay, that's good. Got that one. And we added them to the administrators groups. We got points for that too. Very good. B. Collins have been removed from the administrators group, so that's good. Hitler's finally been removed from not only the administrators group, but also the power users group. All right, so our password age policies or password policies got between 60 and 90 days. We got that. Special password history length has been kept, so anywhere between 8 to 12. So password policies, again, let's see. So while we're thinking about it, let's go check this. It's one of the things that it won't do, the script. So we go to securitypolicies.msc while I'm thinking about it. And we want to go up to count policies, password policy. So one of the things it won't do is meet the complexity requirements. So you might want to double check that and make sure that's enabled. And reversible encryption, make sure that's disabled. Lockout policy, we already set that through the script. It's good. But if you didn't, usually you want to click on the threshold first, and then it defaults to 30 minutes, and that's usually good enough points if there's any. And here's our audit, all of our audits, which have been success failure, so that's good. And then we have user rights assignments. Usually what I look for here, this can be a little tricky if you don't know exactly what you know enough about, and I don't would always say I know enough about this, but even still, what you're looking for is anybody if there's a username, right? Anybody with a username, that's usually a sign of a no-no. So we want to get rid of these names at the very least. I think, not sure if that's right. That looks kind of suspicious to me. So let's go ahead and let's see if we got that password. So we got the complexity requirements. We got that. All right. Lockout duration of 30 is good. We got our audit. Should have audit stuff going on. Got that right. All right, very good. Counts. Limit use of blank passwords. Okay, so got that. Blank passwords, we got that. Do not require control delete. All right, So let's see what else. CD-ROM access for logged in only has been enabled. Got that. Okay. Good. Just kind of going through this to make sure where I'm missing. So I think I need to double check some of these things. Sometimes so we're going to go through this user rights assignments and just verify it for one. But in case there's stuff that we're missing, we're going to go back through it. We got the secure desktop prompting for elevation. That's good. Our firewall protection has been enabled. Our file sharing for shared temp has been disabled, so that's good. Auto updates enabled, so that's very good. All right. Just also remember, just because you ran a script doesn't mean that script is running will take care of everything. So make sure you go back through some things. So I want to check on some other things while we're at it. So auto updates, good. Event log service running, that's good. So that took that. A lot of times I've turned off that logging service, event log service. I've seen that before many times. Prohibit. So our Chrome has been removed. That's good. And okay. So we got okay. So we got our. Did I miss our bit stuff? Yeah, I think I did. Okay. So we got so let's see what we got here. Chrome has been removed. And then we're down to bits. Okay. So we got our download time's been reset. Okay, so that's good. And then our bits limited max network bandwidth has been reset to default. Max number of files allowed in a job's been reset. Our disabled peer caching server and the client, so that's good. And let's see. I think we actually found some MP3 files. We got rid of those. That's good. Go Tell It on the Mountain one, if you remember. I think that's what this one is. Doesn't mention it by name, but just. And then we got. Looks like we got. Did we get the Tangent Games one? See if they gave us points for that. Did not give us points for that one yet. That. Just remember, there's also programs out there. So if you don't delete those programs, sometimes it doesn't give you points. So don't. So let's see. Foobar has been removed, so that's good. All right, good. All right, so let's see what else we got. And I'll show you something where we get. Remember, we did NP cap and stuff. So do we get points for that? Did not get points for. Okay, so usually what that's telling me is that there's probably something. Either there's something further that we're missing, and place I usually like to go for this is the downloads folder. And if you notice, there's all complete file service set the wild games, restore Wireshark. So I would delete all this stuff. Don't worry about the same pack, but those four, if you delete those, that might get us some points. You want to get them out of your downloads folder and delete it. So hopefully that that should give us some points for those. We shall see. Okay. So we got the Amagetchus gone. We haven't gone through any of the Firefox stuff, so we'll get to that in a second. Let's see. We did the gas task guesser. That's been, oh, so we just got a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so amazing's been done. Foo Fighters, my favorite, and backdoors. Okay, so that's good. All right, so let's go through what we just got added, right? So FileZilla FTP's been done. That's good. We picked that up, right? We get the NPCap. Yeah, we get NPCap and Wireshark because that was part of that right. So that's good. So we got those points we didn't have before. We got Restoro. We got those points because we removed that from the downloads folder. Okay, it's good. So we already had the Foodbar 2000. That's good. And let's see, we got the Wild Tangent game's been removed. So, like I said, look for those files out there. You may be waiting to delete those as well. All right. Let's see what else I have. So I'm at 51 out of 61 right now. All right, so okay. So one of the other things I like to run is there's a Windows Smart Screen, which is under the app and browser control. And I actually turn it on. Just click on. You have to do it again. I don't know why, but I don't know why. So, I guess you can review, but so we're good there. Firewall protection, I believe that's on. I don't like doing it through there. I like doing it through another screen. Let me go ahead. All right, so we got a couple things that came in here. We got Smart Screen came in, Warner Blocks. We just activated that. So, okay. All right, let's see what else we can do. Another thing that kind of comes up too, part of Windows Smart Screen is the AutoPlay. So again, you can just type in AutoPlay settings, and turn that off. So okay, so we're good. If you don't find it under there, you can do it under the under here. You do AutoPlay. You can turn on and off under here. So that's another place work it. All right. I think on this one, the AutoPlay was a vulnerability, but it's not scoring. So if you did it and I did what I showed you, then add an extra point to your score. So basically, if you'd be at 53 out of 61, so add a. All right. So what else do we have to do? I think that we have a problem with firewall, right? So let's go back to firewall. Looks like we're fine there. So okay, so we're okay with firewall. Not sure why the other thing said it was a problem. All right. Another thing I like to do while I'm in here is the desktop. I always have a hard time having a hard time figuring where it is. I think it might be under network sharing, but no, it's not it. See, like I said, I have a hard time with this. I find it best by going to the categories and then let me think about this. I think system security and then allow remote access. There we go. And this one, so this one's still allowing it. So I need to say do not allow. I'm going to uncheck that and do not allow, and then apply. So don't forget about that. I had some of those other options in there. So just go back through it. Make sure you go back through it. So it's kind of important to go back through it. So it should add that in there for us. Remember, just add, instead of whatever this number is, add 1 to it. So we're at 54 at the moment. So remote desktop should be disabled. So that should be right here. Remote desktop disabled. Okay. Cool. One of the items that come, and of course, we want to get rid of these Hitler's token object. Remove him, apply, and I think we want to go. Don't remember if power users correct on this one. That's what it says here. So default administrators. So it should be administrators, not power users, right? So let's put administrators in there first. Cannot be found. All right, interesting. So I'm curious. It should be. What am I missing? Types. Groups too. I don't know. Oh, okay, there it is. And let's remove power users and apply. So that's one. We may or not get points for that, but that anybody with a user you want to get rid of. This one definitely should be administrators. Usually never see power users, so it's that's why that kind of stood out for me. That's right. Yeah, we had Hitler again. So allow log on. So remote desktop users is normal. Hitler we can take out. All right, so I think that's it. I don't know if we get points for any of those, but those definitely some good ones. All right, so let's go under security options and let's just double check some of these. So that's good. That took that. That. Okay, good. They will make this a little bit wider. Okay, well, this is one that we need to set up. Don't display last username at sign in. So we're gonna have to enable that one. So let's go ahead and enable that. Let's see. going. All right, so we don't have much left to do. So one of the things, we're getting pretty close. We're at 55 really. So we're going to go ahead and start doing some updates. So Firefox, I don't think we've done Firefox. Yeah, so Firefox, we want to go to and update this one under Help About Firefox, and then it looks like we have to restart. Okay, so that's fine. And do the updates. That I'm going to get out of this one here. I think I got everything figured the way I wanted. Let's check it a little bit. Don't see anything additional. So we're going to go ahead and, if not, we'll come back to this. This is usually another one we want to set up, but we'll skip it for now. Not now. Browsing, let's see. So we don't need the new tab. Let's see what we got. All right, so we get some points. Sounds like. Looks like we got Firefox, right? Just got updated. So we got 5 points for Firefox being updated. Now it's saying, remember, anything that's considered a what is here? So Firefox, Acrobat Reader, and Notepad. We want to make sure we get those updated. So Notepad's been, we got points for that already. Firefox. So let's try to get Adobe Reader going. But that can take a little time for to download the package. So I'm going to go the way to do that. All right, accept. It's fine. We're going to say yes. And great. And I'm going to go ahead and go under help as soon as it comes up. Check for updates. And it's going to say, so it's going to download it. So we're going to let it download. That takes, like I said, takes a little bit of time. So give it time, and about 5-10 minutes, let it come back and come back to it. All right, so while we're doing that, let's go ahead and do our Firefox configuration. So we go to these 3 horizontal lines, and we're going to go ahead and do our settings window. So our default browser, we're good there. Okay. Just going to scroll down. It's fine. It's up to date. We can check again, but we already got the points. No sense in doing it again. We could also click on, just go ahead and install it, right? Check for updates if they really want. Go ahead and install it. Background service. Usually the next thing is not here. I think it's under privacy and security. Usually I like to do strict. Tends to go a little faster. It's over a little bit. To send websites that do not track signals always. Delete cookies when it's closed. That's usually good points. I usually don't click on do not remember until the end here. So block pop-up windows, good there. Dangerous, deceptive content. That one. Let's see what we got points for. We're at 55. Let's see what we're at 57. Really 58, if you remember. So it did some Firefox ones. Okay, so let's. So which Firefox did we added? So we got do not track. Got that one. That's good. We got delete the cookies. So that's good. More. Okay, we're at 57, 59. Okay, so range really close. Which means we're at 60, if you remember. So we got 2 more. So we got pop-up blocker enabled. Great. And block dangerous downloads. Yep, got those. That's fantastic. So we are. So just make sure we got 59 out of 61. So again, like I said, we got 60 out of 61. So we're missing one more. Oh, could be this Adobe Reader, right? Update. So let's go ahead and let's see if it's ready for us now. Still downloading the update. So a lot of times it takes a little bit of time. Like I said, to download the update. So give it a moment or two. I'm going to pause the video until it's ready. So. All right, let's see if it's given enough time to do the update or do the download. Check for updates. Ready to install. All right, we're good. Get that installed now. So knowing how long this takes, the Adobe Reader, you might want to start that a little earlier. Because it does take a little bit of time to get that thing going. So I would say start it a little sooner. So if you see Adobe Reader, so I don't have to restart now. I'm just going to close. You should get the points if there are any. So usually it's just looking at there's certain files like in but anyway, the scoring engine knows if you've updated. All right, so there we go. Close out that. That should give us at least 60, right? 60 out of 61, but we already add 1 plus 1. So that gives us a total of 100 points, really, right? So we're at 60, so plus 1, 61 and 61. So I hope you, scroll through this list. So if you want to take a look at them slowly. If you'd like to try this, go ahead and try it on your own. Take notes what I did. Hopefully that helps you. And anyway, good luck with your competition. Enjoy. Thank you.